Hello, everyone. I'm Golda, and I'm the Library Marketing Director at Norton. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WW Norton Library, and you're welcome to reach out to me with any questions.
Hi, I'm Katie Cahill-Volpe, the Educational Sales Manager for WW Norton, and I'm so glad to be here with Golda today to talk about our forthcoming children's titles.
Yeah, so like Katie said, today we're going to tell you about books for children and teens from the publishers that Norton distributes: Tilbury House, Thames Hudson USA, Abbeville Press, Fantagraphics, and the Well-Trained Mind Press. And most of these books are coming out in early 2021. So here are some useful links, which of course you can't click on through the screen. So I will put these in the video description. We also have more BookBuzz videos in our YouTube library marketing playlist, so you can go back and catch up on any you might have missed. And now I'll turn it back over to Katie for Tilbury House.
Thank you, Golda. Tilbury House Publishers is an independent publishing company founded 40 years ago in Maine, and their children's book division has published award-winning picture books for both the trade and educational marketplaces. Their focus is on cultural diversity, social justice, mindfulness, science, nature, and the environment. And the first title that we have on their list is Have I Ever Told You Black Lives Matter? This is from the author of Have I Ever Told You? And this is a bold new book about Black lives throughout history. This book is a portrait of pride and history for young readers and a critical testament to the BLM movement. It is a window into the Black experience and a mirror to the honorable path that Black leaders have paved. This book will also include short biographies of each figure mentioned. The next book is called Most Days, The Magic of Here and Now. And this book is from the author of Most People, and it is a celebration of the slowing down of life. It's a story of how children and adults can embrace the magical of every day and ordinary things. This sweet story moves through different scenes that include cities and suburbs and ever-changing characters that any reader can identify with. Most Days is a constructive response to the everyday challenges children are now facing, but it's also a forward-thinking book about how mindfulness can help with resiliency in the future. The next book is Waiting for a Warbler, and this is a charming story with gentle illustrations about a family of bird watchers. The tale weaves in important birding facts about migration, ecosystems, and food chains. The book is a great introduction to birding for children and includes a migration map for North America and conservation tips in the back. The next book is A Season of Flowers, and this is a board book for our youngest readers. It is a delightful introduction to the seasons and the flowers that bloom, and it's just in time for spring. This is a vibrant, colorful book that profiles the natural bouquet and the animals that feed and live among the blooms. It is a perfect book for lap time. The next book is Starting Over in Sunset Park. And through bright, inviting collage illustrations, the story of Jessica, a newly arrived immigrant, is told. Jessica and her mother have moved to New York City and are adjusting to the new way of life, but still missing their homeland and the family that they left behind. The story weaves Jessica's challenges and new experiences together into a tale of hope and strength. Many children will be able to identify with the story, while others will be able to empathize. There is Spanish dialogue included within the text. The next books are companion books, and these are large formatted picture books. And the first one is Hidden Planet, Secrets of the Animal Kingdom. And in the spirit of Jerry Pinkney, The Hidden Planet includes detailed and sophisticated illustrations for children and families. Each page reveals nature's magnificence, which often hides in plain sight. The author and illustrator works for the London Museum of Natural History, so the text and drawings are authoritative and accurate. Also by Ben Rothery is Sensational Butterflies in the same large format hardcover. And this includes the lovely monarch to the striking blue morpho. Readers will discover what makes butterflies and moths truly sensational. This is a lavish introduction to the Lepidoptera family that will delight children who love the beauty of the natural world. The next book is Whale Fall Cafe. And this is for kids that love watching the octonauts. Here is a book about a weird but fascinating deep sea phenomenon called whale fall. Dr. Fish, a fish in a lab coat, takes us on a journey as a dead whale, gross, sinks down to the bottom of the ocean floor. Learn about how this death creates a huge source of food for so many interesting and varied creatures for up to 4,000 years. Fabulous back matter from the Monterey Bay Aquarium is also included, and kids that love weird science will fall in love with this book. Next up is the series of How Nature Works. And there are three books in paperback, and these are revised editions. And they've refreshed, the first book that has been refreshed is called One Iguana, Two Iguana. And this is an important introduction for elementary school children to the concept of natural selection and evolution. Kirkus Reviews wrote a fresh and accessible approach to an important scientific topic. The next book in the series is called Catching Air, Taking a Leap with Gliding Animals. And this is now again in the affordable paperback edition. Children are introduced to the unique adaptation of gliding invertebrate animals. Squirrels, frogs, and even toads have evolved with the ability to soar through air. Each animal includes lavish photographs of their flight skills, along with information about how these animals have adapted to their unique environment. And finally, also in paperback in the series, Extreme Survivors, Animals That Time Forgot. Extreme Survivors profiles 10 creatures that appear to have skipped evolutional changes over hundreds of millions of years. These weird and diverse animals include the snaggle-toothed goblin shark and ancient comb jellies. Readers ages 6 through 10 will learn why these animals have withstood the test of time without major evolutional changes. The book also includes a timeline, a glossary, and recommended reading.
So Thames Hudson USA has a wide range of books for younger readers, many coming from the UK, Europe, and Australia. And The Fox on the Swing won the 2019 Batchelder Award. Modern Art Explorer from Thames Hudson is an introduction to modern art for ages 9 and up. There are reproductions of 30 famous pieces of art, along with informative commentary about each artist and their work. The starred review from Kirkus called it illuminating. This book becomes a lively tour conducted by a knowledgeable curator. This Small Blue Dot by Zeno Swarter is from Australia. In this book, a young girl tells her new baby sibling about the world around them. She hits on small wonders, big lessons, and everything in between, from sharing the joy of silly dances to contemplating the nature of the small blue dot we all live on. Rich pencil and crayon illustrations conjure up memories of childhood in this celebration of who we are, where we come from, and where our dreams may take us. Swarter captures not only life lessons, but also the fun, often strange experience of being a member of the human family on planet Earth. Out to Sea by Helen Kellogg is a picture book about learning to deal with the big emotions that go along with losing someone you love, and how to hold the person in your memory. She uses the metaphor of being swept out to sea to represent the waves of sadness a person may feel. But when the young girl finds a pearl that helps her remember her grandmother, she finds the strength to pick up her oars and row herself back home. Mole in a Black and White Hole is an imaginative tale about searching for beauty and light in the world around us by Czech author and illustrator Teresa Sediva. The only thing of color that the mole sees in his world is the pink radish growing through his roof. One day, the radish disappears, and a bright ray of sunlight comes down into his hole. He crawls out of his black and white hole into the world above and discovers a place more colorful than he ever dreamed possible. This book has the spine running across the top instead of the side, so the pages open up and down instead of side by side. The world above ground is on the upper page, and the underground is on the lower page. Bad Apple. This is a purely silly book with a bad apple who gets into all sorts of trouble. Bad Apple is dead set on making life miserable for Pear, Plum, Cat, Spud, and Spoon, and it seems like no one will stop him. But what happens when he meets a snake? Well, I won't spoil it for you. If I Had an Octopus is by the same team that brought us If I Had a Dinosaur, If I Had a Sleepy Sloth, and If I Had a Unicorn. In this addition to the series, the little girl imagines what it would be like to have a smart, talented octopus as a friend. She pictures jumping rope with its tentacles, practicing different ball games simultaneously, and playing hide and seek with her camouflaging friend. Just look out for the ink. The illustrations are bright and playful, and there's a lot of humor throughout the book. My next few books are aimed at middle school level, ages 9 and up. We Are Explorers profiles 14 incredible women explorers who trekked across deserts in search of the source of the Nile, crept through jungles to discover rare butterflies, journeyed into the Arctic, and so much more. Each section has a portrait of the explorer, and the pages are richly illustrated. The author and illustrator Carrie Herbert is herself the daughter of a celebrated polar explorer, and she also wrote We Are Artists, which is available now. Why Can't Horses Burp is the logical follow-up to Why Do Cats Meow? Full of facts and information from zoologist Nick Crompton and illustrated by Lily Snowden-Fine, Why Can't Horses Burp answers such questions as, can all horses be racehorses? Why do horses wear shoes? And what's the difference between a horse and a pony anyway? So this book will give kids a great introduction to everything about horses. So You Want to Be a Knight is the fourth book in a series of illustrated time travel adventures. 3 kids go back in time to learn all about chivalrous glory and heroic quests. The information comes from a series of history books for adults that Thames Hudson published, but it is presented here in a fun, accessible way. School Library Journal gave the last book a positive review, saying that it would be great for fans of science comics or Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales. My last book from T&H is a pop-up book, which I realize is a tough thing to have in a library, but it's a good one to recommend to parents. In Pop-Up Earth, 5 colorful, breathtaking pop-ups reveal the inner workings of the planet. Intricate illustrations and fact-filled pages connect us to our world, making this a perfect gift for young ecologists and climate activists. And now I'll turn it back over to Katie to tell you about Abbeville Press.
Abbeville Press is an independent publisher of timeless fine art and illustrated books, and they are our newest affiliate. They have 2 children's books on the list. Stars of Women's Soccer. This is the 3rd edition, published right before the rescheduled Tokyo Olympics. This 3rd edition is a great book for the lovers of the game. Each of the 28 female athletes profiled includes glossy photographs, short bios, and key stats. Stars include U.S. players Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, and Julie Ertz, as well as their international counterparts, Sam Kerr of Australia and Lucy Bronze of England. The next book is a parenting book, and this is The Expectant Father, The Ultimate Guide for Dads-to-Be. This is the 5th edition that will be available in hardcover and in paperback. With over 2 million copies sold, this is the what to expect when you're expecting for men. Arthur Armin Brott is known as America's Mr. Dad because of his populated syndicated radio show and newspaper column. The Expectant Father offers accessible month-to-month information for the fathers-to-be. It covers pregnancy, birth, and afterwards, and in a supportive and enlightened male perspective. It incorporates the expertise of OBGYNs and researchers, along with real-life experiences from hundreds of fathers. The Library Journal wrote, "One would be hard put to find a question about having a baby that's not dealt with here, all from the father's point of view."
Hello again. I have 3 graphic novels from Fantagraphics for all your comics fans. Fantagraphics mostly publishes books for adults, but they do have some books for all ages, including their Peanuts books, their Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge series, a Mickey Mouse series, and a series of picture books adapted from Israeli folk tales. Nobody Likes You, Greta Grump is an imaginative story for ages 9 and up by artist and animator Kathy Malkasian. She worked on Rugrats, the Wild Thornberrys movie, many episodes of Curious George, and she has published 4 books for adults with Fantagraphics. Young Greta is, like the title says, grumpy. Whenever she thinks someone is mean, she retaliates. She has scared off all the possible pets from the pet store until Nobody the tortoise comes. Nobody is a no-nonsense tortoise who politely redirects Greta's anger while leading her on an adventure. With Nobody's help, Greta makes a new friend, and the 3 of them figure out why everyone in Friendlytown has suddenly become mean. There are several metaphors and plays on words in the book, like an ill wind and a mean streak, and readers will learn about kindness, understanding, and acceptance while enjoying a fantastical story. The Thud by Mikhail Ross is a YA graphic novel about a young man named Noel with a developmental disorder who has to learn how to navigate the world after his mother's death. The village where he is taken is based on a real village in Germany that is run by people with developmental differences. Mikhail Ross spent 2 years visiting the village, talking to people and learning their stories. Told from Noel's perspective with humor and empathy, The Thud offers a rare window into the life of its developmentally different protagonist, which helps readers to understand the often misunderstood. And last up from Fantagraphics is a superhero comic, Young Shadow by Ben Sears. Young Shadow usually protects Bolt City by making deliveries for the food bank and rescuing pets, but one night he discovers the Sludge Team, a conspiracy composed of a CEO of a chemical plant, trust fund punks, and suspicious cops. To stop their evil plan, Young Shadow must don a couple of batons, knee pads, a small black mask, and team up with Spiral Scratch, another benevolent protector in the fight, and some metal-clad nuns. Drawn in bold yellows and blacks, this is a socially conscious action-adventure kids superhero tale. Now, if you have any families that are looking for support for homeschooling or for supplemental education, you should check out the Well-Trained Mind Press. Founded by Susan Weisbauer, the Well-Trained Mind Press has books and audio CDs that can be used as textbooks or for supplemental activities. Their key titles are the History Series, The Story of the World, and they also have grammar and writing books for all levels, as well as early math books. And I also recommend checking out their website, where they have a lot of resources for people with all levels of experience in teaching at home. So that is all of our top children's books for early 2021 from our distributed publishers. I'll be adding a video for Norton Young Readers winter titles to the library marketing playlist on YouTube. And library workers and educators should also sign up for my Norton Library newsletter, which often has ARC giveaways. You can find digital ARCs for many of our titles on Edelweiss, and I'll put all of the relevant links in the video description. So thank you to Katie for helping me out with the presentations. Thank you all so much for listening. And also I want to say thank you so much for all of the work that you're continuing to do in your communities. Bye for now.
Thank you.